Stefan, are you with us?
Yes, hello. Can you hear
Hi,
me?
how are you doing? Yeah, we can hear you very well, thank you.
Okay. Hi. Thank you. Love your show very much. My question is more about not so much about the philosophy. My question is more about the politics, and it's like the religiosity in the US is very different from the religiosity in Europe. And I was wondering if having a state religion like we have in Europe actually helped calm the religious people down. And now we are at the point where we can reduce the money that we throw at them. And maybe that's a better strategy than in the
Stefan,
US.
are you happy to tell us which country you come from?
Germany.
Germany. And what's the, you mentioned state religion. You've got a state religion in
You
Germany.
still can't. All the shops close on Sunday in Germany, right?
Yeah, not every shops, like gas stations are open and stuff like this. Yeah, but mostly it's a state holiday. Let's say that.
But when you mention state religion, I mean, what exactly are you referring to?
Like in Germany, we have the Catholic and the Protestant Church, and they have more. They get money from the state, and the other religions don't. So,
how much money do they get given?
I think they get around $20 billion a year.
Wow,
which is a lot.
And that's
20 billion?
Just
yes.
Protestants and
I think you've got to be a few orders of magnitude. That's what NASA.
No. But that's not the state gets something from that. Like for example, they run kindergarten, schools, and stuff like that, hospitals. So it's not totally useless money that we give them. But we pay, for example, the priests in Germany are paid by the government. Religious teachers that we have in schools are paid by the government. So that's all in the 20 billion.
Yeah, I mean, I would be so, well, I mean, I'm so strongly against faith schools. If you like, this is, things like faith schools are investing in a long-term problem. Whereas really we ought to be looking at long-term solutions.
Sorry, they're not faith schools. They're state schools. Just in every school we teach religion, or we have religion taught, and these religion teachers are paid by the state.
Yeah, I mean that is a surprise to me, and I don't know quite how it all works. But what's interesting is what you said, that it's only the Catholics and the Protestants that get this money, not any other flavor of religion.
Yeah, the Catholic Church and the Protestant Church, they actually worked so that the other religions are not officially recognized as religions, but as cults.
But a priest is paid by the government?
Yes. I'm not sure about the lowest parts of the religious community, but for example, bishops, archbishops, they're paid by the state.
I know the Swedes up until very recently were paying a church tax that was, I forget how much, and none of them were going, but they were all officially listed as a certain church member. So they were the most religious secular country around. So your question, I think, originally was, does that benefit the society as sort of a vaccination, a weakened form of religion, exposing children at a young age to the miseries of theology, whether or not it produces a less religious group? The answer certainly could be pointed to as the evidence. You have a much less religious environment in Europe, where there are a lot of national religions. But I don't think that always transfers well to the U.S. I think secularism embracing true secularism in the U.S. has become such a cherished thing for so many people. Regardless, if we had a state religion, it would almost certainly be a Roman Catholic state religion, because the majority of people, although they tend to be the lower income people, not the people necessarily in charge, but the majority of people are Roman Catholic. I think I would much prefer a U.S. that was completely secular, one where everyone was free to worship anyone, any religion or none.
I was just wondering if maybe that's the way we did it in Europe is maybe the better strategy to get rid of the religion.
That's very utilitarian.
Yes.
I mean, it was something that I can't remember whether it was someone on the show recently. For some reason, I'm thinking of PC Myers, but I'm not sure. But they identified the difference between America, where there is a complete separation of. Oh, actually, maybe it was Dawkins, church and state in America, and yet in the United Kingdom, the monarch is also the defender of the faith, and there is this sort of like historic and constitutional connection between the two. And yet, in this country, religion really is very much a background noise, as opposed to, the fervent support that he has.
Yeah. Religion's more of a country club than it is supernatural commitment.
Yeah. Can I just tell everyone that Aaron has actually arrived? I did tell you he'd be an hour late. I will be bringing him in shortly. Stefan, can I boot you politely? And thank you very much for the call.
Good question.
But we will move on. Now, I know Concordance, you did a promotional video, and I'm eager to take the next caller before we deal with your point. And I think what we'll do is to take the next caller, then once we've dealt with that, we'll bring in Aaron, because I think that the issue that you want to raise is something that Aaron will definitely be interested in. So I'm going to bring in, I think it's AJ, and I think his question relates to evolution and potholer. Are you with us, AJ?
Yes, I am. Can everybody hear me?
Hi, welcome to the show. Yes, we can hear you very well.
Nice. It's awesome to be here. I'm brown nose for a second. I love the show.
Keep brown nosing.
Especially Concordance and Thunderfoot. And
oh, no. You're done. You're done.
Oh, I know. All right, well, what I wanted to bring up was a video I recently watched by Potholer. I believe it was actually made in the last day or two, about Kent Hovind accepting evolution under the name of variation, and how he basically accepts all the premises of it, and that speciation will occur, and that you can have, what do they call it, circle species, where when they meet at the end of another country that they can't interbreed, but they could all the way back. And he's admitting that all of this happens, but won't admit that it's evolution. And I kind of thought the next step of their argument with this would be that, yeah, evolution happens, but God created all the originals and threw them on the ark and all that. I don't know. I was wondering what your guys' opinion of this was, and if anybody had seen the video that I'm actually talking about.
I have seen the video. I think it's a very good video. And again, if no one has, if you haven't seen it yet, please watch it. And again, I will include a link to it in the description when these things are posted on YouTube. Yes, basically, Potholer explains that if you actually listen to what the likes of Kent Hovind and Ken Ham say, they accept every single step of evolution so far as speciation is concerned, but they are reluctant to go that one step further. They still are clinging on to this idea of kinds.
The creationist model has always been one of branching. So I don't know how familiar. I found myself long ago in Carl Baugh's Creation Museum in Glen Rose, Texas, where he feels that he has found a human footprint inside a dinosaur footprint, which was clearly not a human footprint. Anyway, that was the first time I saw the creationist orchard. The orchard model is a bunch of small trees that are independent of each other, right? You can imagine the tree of life, except they think that there are, I don't know, 5,000 trees of life. And each of those trees of life represent differentiation. So they accept that evolution occurs. They just believe that it was truncated about 6,000 years ago. And the specific element that they reject is the universal common ancestry, which is part of the quote-unquote theory of evolution. The fact that we can reconstruct these phylogenetic patterns and they come out to a single tree with multiple horizontal transfer events destroying the classical tree arrangement. But it's not an orchard. There are not 1,000 independent lines of lineage. Hi, Aaron. That's all I had.
Yes, well, welcome to the show, Aaron. Good to see that you made it 45 minutes late, but you're here anyway. AJ, was there anything else? I mean, as I say, I would strongly recommend, if you have not seen Potholler's video, do go and watch it. It's very good. But if there isn't anything else, then we're going to move on to Concordance's point.
There was one more thing I wanted to bring up, too. I wanted to mention about the argument style last week between Sai and Hovind, that I just wish that Thunder's argument of the ghost that never lies would have been allowed to continue a little more. I just felt that was shut down and was on the exact same logic. It was on the exact same logic that they were using, and if you can't say that he's wrong, then why can't we say that you're wrong?
What was interesting about the last show is that every single one of us, let's say Concordance, Thunder, Aaron, and myself, got criticized and praised in varying degrees. And I was talking to Thunder about this yesterday or the day before, and he said, "You know what? The one person that didn't get just criticized and praised, the only person that only got criticized was me. So you've actually made his day. You've praised him."
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on the show, everybody. And
thank you very much indeed. And I apologize.
GDPR. Let me just say this is the thing that always gets me, and I'm sort of half convinced that this is why so many Christians get hung up on Noah's Ark, right? Because this is my Bible, okay? It has 1,291 pages. You get to Noah's Ark on page 7, right? That bit is the bit before Noah's Ark. That's the bit after. And I reckon the reason they get so hung up on it is because that's how far they get into the Bible before they get into the real bullshit.